All right, so in this one, we are going to reacting to Garesh's ranking the top 10 best characters in the game, July 2026 edition. Assumably, this will be the final 8th anniversary tier list for the man. So, well, let's get into it and see what he is cooking up within it.
More than one character that is dominant right now. So let's start with number 10. We'll go up from there. And yeah, it'll just be a standard top 10 video. Okay, so I am going to do a double character slot here at number 10.
Legend Super Vegito and Goku Bardock. Does this mean Legend Bardock's gonna make the list? Oh man, that's the king of PvP right now. Let me tell you, Red Broly as well, very dominant forces of all. I feel like Legend Super Vegito, it's just one of those. It's kind of that lower tier. No one really gives a shit about fully. Legend Piccolo could be there, Zaha could be there. I would say Ultra Kid Buu's in that same retrospective realm because I don't think Ultra Kid Buu's as good as people make him out to be. He's very simplistic in his actual nature. But for what all I know is Kid Buu could be high as hell on this list, and I guess we'll hear about that. Legend Vegito, same thing. The Majin Buu saga is just like Shin, Buu Duo, Vegito. I guess you could have Kid Buu there if you want. Shin, also one of those top tier arguments, bottom top tier, like arguable top 10, but like still bottom tier because like they're not high tier in the top 10. I think Goku Bardock, I used them. They were looking better than Legend Bardock, which I don't think that means anything, but they were looking better than him, and I've heard him super glazed. If I were to take Kid Buu or Goku Bardock in a setting, I'd probably still take Kid Buu mostly. I mean, there's niches where Goku Bardock's better because, like, the Buu Duo and stuff like that, but even then, just individually, Kid Buu can just do better off settings than a lock-in within the boost tier, within all that bullshit. I mean, honorable mention units, top 10 barely units. I feel like these are just one of those. I feel like there's like 15 to like 18 units they can argue at like bottom top 10, and these are some of them. So yeah, no, this makes sense to me. But I want to hear some
Legend
Super
Vegito, and I'm going to put Zenkai Goku and Bardock here. I think Super Vegito, obviously him being in featured boost helps a little bit, is still a pretty solid damage dealer. Green is a very prominent color right now. Legend Broly. I think Goku and Bardock. I've ran into a lot of Goku and Bardocks, and then I've seen a lot more people using Shallot recently. Obviously,
how about Broly? I feel like Broly could be in that discussion, right? The other two, yeah, but like, I guess Broly's kind of just like always going to be there, so why not?
Because of the Buu Duo being blue, I'm trying to kind of counteract the Spirit Bomb and maybe getting some characters like Shallot and Goku and Bardock to live the Spirit Bomb because they are not powerful opponents and also green characters. So with that being the case, I think purple character like Super Vegito does get additional value. Obviously his defenses aren't the greatest. That's where he can kind of see a little bit of that's where you can see a little bit of a drawback in the character, but I do think Vegito is still solid. His damage has been able to age pretty well just because of the way that he's stacking damage guard penetration on the strikes.
I feel like if you don't run him with Shin, you really do have just like like you're really looking like sheesh. Because I don't feel like you're running him without Shin right now. Again, you try Majin Buu Saga, it's blue, red, purple. Yeah, it's not a bad team. It does its job, but like once you get caught, and let's say you drop combo against a very obvious Shin switch in, because Shin has a pretty good disrupt in cover changing only. If you just do that one play, it's like, okay, then that team's mincemeat. But I feel like this guy really is kind of reliant. Like, that's 40% damage inflicted as well as 20%. So he has 60% support, essentially, this Vegito, as well as 50% more from the Buu Duo once they go prep mode. That's 110 support. So I don't know if this guy's inherent damage is even as good it's kind of stated to be and slated to be by a lot of people. It might be okay, passable, better than others in his time, but like, is it really that same degree of good aging that's kind of been like, this guy's whole forefront thing? He has super support on his team. I don't know. Yes, but no. Obviously, his defenses are the problem, but like, still, even that, I feel like that definitely is like an underlying issue for this guy.
Max damage 3 ways through just normal damage stacking, damage guard penetration, and arts damage. His green card is still really strong. I think his ultimate with type neutral is really good, especially because Yellow Goku Black and Kid Buu are pretty powerful right now. So overall, I think Super Vegito is in a very good spot. His team is about to get a buff as well, Fusion Warriors.
Oh.
Now, it might be the case where he ends up getting kicked off the team. We'll see, but he is going to get help soon. So
what is he talking? Is he meaning that the Ultra Plat's like a guaranteed fusion. It could not be a fusion. It could very easily not be a fusion. I mean, I don't fucking know. No one fucking actually knows. This guy doesn't know either. Just so you know, no one knows. I feel like that's a pretty bold claim to presume it's a fusion only, honestly. I feel like Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's there. It could be some villain thing where it's like, here's Janemba, then you get Legend Goma, then like, here's blue yellow color synergy, Legend Goma yellow, blue Ultra Janemba gets buffed. I feel like only thinking it's going to be a fusion is kind of crazy, no? Maybe I'm dumb? Could be a bit dumb. That's a little bit, wow. That's very confident. I feel like it's a very confident take for something that no one really even has a thought. The last time we saw like an after buff was LFG4 into like the next GT stuff that was happening, where he got his Zenkai. Then it's like, okay, here's this GT buff. So like Bomb Coup, Super 17, blah blah, you know, all that baby, all that shit. I don't think we've seen that from like a big celebration ending and then into something else to like go into further, which this is probably what's gonna happen next. I mean, yeah, no, UVB and UGB are right there, but I just wouldn't be shocked if they skip around. If it is helping this guy, I don't know how much even helps him particularly, but I guess he would get better technically.
We'll see what Fusion Warrior is about to get the platinum equipment, but I feel like this guy is definitely worth mentioning here at number 10. Next is going to be Goku and Bardock.
He's a talking point.
This is a character where I would not have really considered them at number 10 on a list that, well, I guess in a situation where we didn't see the exact release that we did in part 3 with a blue nuking character that doesn't go type neutral unless using a powerful opponent.
Yes, this is clearly intended
I wasn't
to be
really
like
a huge fan of Goku and Bardock when they got their Zenkai. I thought they were just under 2 and I thought their numbers were just too low. But AoE green, industry...
lacking consistent cover and all. They still had that problem. It's just you don't see it as often because, well, I mean, you can play around that, especially with green cards within like double green unit of Shallot and Goku Bardock, but still, they still have their flaws. It's just their flaws. Again, that's what happens to every unit. Your flaws become less evident when a new unit that's a new big bad that's actually helping you become more popularized and better off is becoming more evident. So their flaws become less noticeable because their goodness becomes more noticeable. So it's like it's a turn of the fate. But at the end of the day, they still have their flaws, Goku Bardock. They still do suck in a lot of regards. It's just they suck less because they were trying to, I guess, help them in a way by dropping them as they were and being good against the Buu Duo to a degree. Obviously not perfect, but like good enough to like runnable. I hate those kind of circumstantial things because, again, once the Buu Duo falls off, then what the fuck's Goku Bardock? They're underwhelming, and now they're going to go back to underwhelming once they become from usable to back to underwhelming. Like they're just such a nothing factor. Like if they're here, they're just here again. They're just a talking point, like Vegito is, because he has Super Glaze on his team as well as Boost, and it's like units need more merit to that to be even like discussionable. I feel like than something that actually matters.
Destructible, the fact that you can have a green non-powerful opponent character that's like somewhat competent here. We have Zaha, who's not going to be on the list actually, but I do think the game originals build with Zaha, Goku, and Bardock and Shallot is pretty good. I'm not saying it's insane, but it is a very, very good deterrent team to the Spirit Bomb because all 3 characters on your team can live the Spirit Bomb.
He's not wrong. It's just Spirit Bomb's not that deep, in my opinion, to where you have to make a team around the idea. But I mean, he's not wrong.
Zaha, I didn't put on the list here.
I'm shocked.
I usually don't talk about characters that I'm not putting on the list, but him being an S tier is pretty crazy. But it's just like he's not really.
He has no kit
as much as you would think, even with him being an S tier. He is still just like a pure support character. The thing he's bringing to the table the most out of anything is, number one, his bulk, and also his ability to heal and generate greens. That's powerful, right? And obviously just the offensive support he's bringing to the table. But outside of that, he's not really disrupting a ton.
Because he has no kit, as I said a billion times. The glaze on this unit's been insane. Like, he's runnable. It's good. Again, he's one of these top 15 motherfuckers. And I even put him barely top 10, which really doesn't matter. Because, again, if you're barely top 10, you're top 15 realistically for a lot of people. But again, he has no kit.
Doesn't got a second life mechanic, no blast armor into strikes, no like big sub count reduction. So he's not going to be on here, but his presence on a game original setup is very helpful to a character
Do
like
notice
Goku
him
and
when you're
Bardock.
fighting him.
And then obviously Goku and Bardock having...
I'd
access
argue you notice Zaha more than you notice these two when you're fighting these two, unless Vegeta's in like kind of like ally dead state, or he's just kind of like getting those good 50-50s against you. You definitely notice Zaha more than these two. I'd actually argue Zaha's better than these two, despite, you know, the bare bones kid he has. You notice his bulk and his surviving more than you notice these two doing anything to you. Like, grand scheme wise, you really don't see these two do shit to you most times.
to a lot of Zenkai abilities, makes it a lot easier to just throw them on the teams anywhere. So yeah, again, I think Goku and Bardock are a solid character here. I think number 10 is like a solid spot for them. I don't think I'd put them any higher than this, but there are a few characters, again, that you could slot in at number 10, but these are the two that I would want to put here. But yeah,
Legend Piccolo.
As per usual, there's
Blue Radhan, I guess.
Characters you could put
Purple
in
Radhan, I
I'm gonna
guess.
go with Legend Super
It's
Vegito
like
and
copiums.
Goku and Bardock. Let's move on to number 9. Number 9 is going to be Zenkai Purple.
I'm shocked he actually made the list. Wow. Okay. Being any revival right now is just hell, especially if your pre-state is really mediocre. Like Blue Radhan, you probably get away with because his pre-state's like really strong. Obviously, this guy's pre-state's pretty goddamn weak. I'm super curious why he makes this list. I don't agree at all that this guy should be on the list. I don't see any merit to him in any value, despite, I guess, if it's going to say anything is like Legend of Geo, he's purple. I mean, all right. If that's it, then like, I still don't think that validates him personally.
Purple Revival Gohan. This is something we'll also
expect
mention
this
when
guy
we
here.
get to feature Gohan and Trunks on the list, but I do think that this character has been significantly hurt. Not just from the fact that the Buu Duo are ignoring revives with their Spirit Bomb, but also just because of the fact that the Hybrid Saiyan team is not as strong as it was for multiple reasons. Number one,
Hybrids was never all that. Just want to keep you informed. It was super gaslit into pretending it was the best team in the game. It never was. Future was always better with Double Goku Black as well as Gohan Trunks within Part 2. As well as, it was actually a decent team to fight because, like, you know, you kill someone on Hybrids, then they die. You know, that's as simple as this. You click cars, you kill, they die. They revive, blah, blah, blah. They do mechanics. But, like, they're not tanking. They're not really supporting crazily. I mean, like a little bit, but like it feels like every team fucking supports a little bit, so it's whatever. Hybrids is actually a decent team to fight within Part 2. Everyone hated the premise of it, but like actually fighting it was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'd rather fight that than Future in Part 2. And then Hybrids kind of obviously goes down because it's double revival. Here's a blue unit, like everything goes to hell. But still, this unit and this team of Gohans was never the best. I feel like that's just a super high misconception people have within Part 2. Oh, Hybrids was the best. No, it was really good. It was probably like number 3. Probably could argue some like pure PO/movie thing was better with like UGB or Broly and then both Goku Blacks as well. But like pure Hybrids was never the best. Just keep that informed because again, people super overrated and overglaze and still do overglaze how good Hybrids was in Part 2. They were not the top dog at all.
on Blue Gohan being off feature boost, I actually don't think that has a huge impact. The real impact is just the fact that Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta have, I would say, pretty significantly hurt the Hybrid Saiyan team. Not just because of the Spirit Bomb, but also just because they're able to just completely tear apart future Gohan and Trunks if they get caught, right? Obviously, I think the double revive setup for Hybrid Saiyans.
I mean, you could just run this guy in movies. To be fair, if that's if movies is better than hybrids right now, you could just run like Broly, UGB, this guy. It's not a terrible team. It's better than hybrids, like I just said. I feel like you kind of ignore that point because that exists. Like it's not fully ignorance or fully something you could be ignorant about, but like still, I mean, if you were to say movies better than hybrids right now, then what does that point even do at the end of the day? It doesn't really mean much. Yeah, hybrids got worse. Yeah, type advantage to the main unit of hybrids, but like still, movies just better, so just run them on movies. And I feel like you could argue on movies top 10, they could argue on hybrids top 10 right now. It's just much easier and much more frequent. I feel like you could even fight like, Broly UGB and then whatever third. With this guy, Pan, whatever the fuck you want.
Is good. You could end up hypothetically replacing Blue Gohan with Pan, Yellow Pan. I mean, she's a Hybrid Saiyan, but it gets a little weird because then you have two characters out of Second Life, and your whole team is very squishy. I wouldn't really call Future Gohan and Trunks a very tanky character. Wouldn't really call this guy a very tanky character. So a lot of this character's teams were hurt. At least the hybrid Saiyan versions of this character's teams, because whenever you have a hybrid Saiyan that comes out, every single time their best team is hybrids.
Blah 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 blah.
Right? However, I do think this guy is still very good on movies, and that's the reason why I have him here on the list here at number 9.
That makes more
his
sense to
ability
me.
to be ran next to Gogeta, Blue, and Broly as that trio, kind of like part 1 team. I do like him in that position. I think he's very, very effective. Again, it's not like a situation where
he's okay there. It's kind of like you're putting. I mean, let's say Shin doesn't make this list, right? I don't fucking know. It's like putting Shin, right? There's some support there. There's some utility settings. There's some decency, but like at the end of the day, you could probably just run someone better at that point, right? Run a leader slot unit. Is he better off? That's kind of what this Gohan's doing on that movie team.
Oh, this guy's dominating.
But like he's all right.
He can dominate if you revive with him and you get priority with him post revive. He can definitely dominate. Right? Him having an AOE green is valuable. Him having card protection
sack
is
this
valuable.
guy off to the Buu Duo
I think card
first.
protection is one of the most premium mechanics in the game. So him having access to that just from the get go is really, really strong. Even in a post Future Gohan and Trunks completely dominating the game environment. So yeah, I like this guy. He's healing, he's supporting.
I think 9's okay for movies.
His value definitely went
nothing
down
else.
post
Hybrids,
2,
no.
but I still think he's a solid enough character to talk about here in kind of like this 7, 8, 9, 10 position. So Revival Purple Gohan going to be here at number 9. Let's move on to the next slot. Number 8 is going to be Legend Rosé.
Ooh, wow, he's low. 8. God damn, what happened to him? What happened to Legend Rosé? Am I missing something? Can't you just run like God Key if you're like worried about? Can't you just run pure Saiyans? You could just run like Goku Bardock, both Goku Blacks, Shallot, both Goku Blacks. If your worry is the Buu Duo, it's like, oh, Gohan Trunks got hit, so like now they get hit so bad. You could just run one of those, mentionable greens. I mean, obviously Broly exists, but like, PO. There's no way Buu Duo makes this guy go down that bad because Gohan Trunks got hurt, right? That's not math.
Goku
Surely
Black,
there's another
Ultra
reason.
Super Villain Rosé Goku Black. So 2 reasons why this guy is moving a significant amount
Super
down on the list, because I think I had him pretty high up on the last list. He might have even been number 2. I can't remember exactly what spot he was, but he was somewhere in there.
He good for that.
Very, very high
He
up.
was.
Number 1, he is off feature boost, which, again, I don't really view that as being like the kiss of death for a lot of characters. So it's a factor, but it's not going to be like, oh, this is why he moved down 7 positions. The real, more impactful reason is because you see the Hybrid Saiyan team less, and this character was extremely good versus the Hybrid Saiyan team.
But wasn't he also extremely good against movies? Which right now the best team in the game is 2 movie units. Like, yeah, he's better because the hybrids didn't have shit against them, obviously, but like, it's not like he was doing bad in part 1, right? I mean, wasn't this guy top 5 for most people in part 1?
Just very, very
8.
good. He had
That's
card
when Broly was
protection
peaking.
versus that team in a lot of instances. He had just type advantage against the Trunks side of Future Gohan and Trunks. He had the anti-revival disrupt mechanics. Just a lot of damage because those Hybrid Saiyan characters really weren't super tanky. Still, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still an effective character versus the Buu Duo, but you're seeing a lot more green units right now. Again, like I said, Broly is very, very prevalent in a lot of these matches.
But Broly's prevalent in part
being
1.
used a lot more now. I'm seeing Goku and Bardock a lot more often.
I get that these greens are active and proactive in the game right now, but it's like, this is the one blue that really doesn't give a shit about them in my eyes. I mean, again, you run with Broly. You get the combo stoppages for free. You still have a tank within Broly. Obviously, TGB is pretty still beefy, I think he also lost some boost here recently. But you still have those kind of like circumventual navigations to get around. Like, this blue's going to get fucking dicked down by a green, essentially. I feel like that's the main draw here of like, oh, he's number 8. But like in part 1, he had this situation and he was vibing. Again, top 5 for most people, I would say. Part 2, yes, Shallot's not as good, but like still, and Goku Bark's not as good, but still, Broly is still doing very good, and obviously he went down, but like still Broly existed. And I feel like because part 1 he was doing so good, part 3, I definitely don't think either green unit he just mentioned of Shallot or Goku Bardock is so top tier to where this guy would be devalued to such a degree. Like, he's probably going to be below Shallot, and he's obviously not below Goku Bardock, but like, you're really going to tell me the RNG machine has more value than the guy that has uncancelable neutral that could destroy green units? I mean, We're also fighting UGB still. We're also still fighting Gohan Trunks to a decent degree, which is also half red, and there's another red. Like, I don't know. And also having the coverage that he has with TGB, that gives him goodness against even purple units, which, like, Gohan Trunks is still there. Rev Han's on this list. I feel like it's devaluing that kind of whole synergy that he has and not really respecting it.
So that does hurt this guy quite a bit. But this character next to Yellow Goku Black, that duo of the Goku Blacks, plus like just any third character, Gogeta Blue, Broly, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, you can pretty much throw any character next to these two, and the match is probably going to timer. Probably just a really good duo.
This guy
of
just
disrupts and bulk
mentions
and
in it just
all this
fucking
nonsense.
murders.
So I do still like this guy. But he has taken a hit, at least compared to how good I thought he was, or how effective I thought he was in the meta during part 2. But we'll see. If we end up continuing to get Sun Family characters with Revive, stuff like that, we could definitely see an increase in this guy's value moving forward. But still a good character. Just
because the only decrease is that there's greens that are running around, but like even those greens, like if I had to guess, Shallot's not anywhere near top 5 here, and maybe he's even next. Goku Bardock's not even, their honorable mention type tier. They're not even that like oppressive greens. And again, if the main one, because I assume Broly's like top 3, he's got to be. It's people like to downplay Broly. Broly's top 3 here. He has to be. If that's it, then again in part 1, this guy, why was he not lowered within that? If he's lowered here, it's not like the Buu Duo's type advantage versus him. You can still run greens to help circumvent against the Buu Duo. I don't fully get this because the main argument it seems like he's having is just greens. But again, these aren't like top-notch, top-tier broken greens. These are just runnable greens. And I mean, one just is mediocre and one is just RNG. And I mean, all right, interesting.
wouldn't have as high as I did on the last list. So let's move on to the next slot here. Just moving briskly through the list. All right, coming in at number 7.
See, like this guy, I agree. He should be around this spot. But I don't think Legend Rosé should be so low because of this guy. This guy's, I mean, he's on number 7. He's not making the impact that's like the crazy thing that's going to be like, wow, from 3 to like boom. And like, yeah, Gohan Trunks fall off hurts. But Gohan Trunks is higher than this guy, I'm pretty sure, on the list. So they didn't fall off that bad. I don't know. I just feel like that's a lot of Legend Rosé downplay, despite the fact that the greens that are in the game that he has mentioned, aren't really make such a crazy impact to where you could devalue Legend Rosé to that level. Like, that's a super high devalue.
7 is going to be Legend Super Saiyan God Shallot. I was debating on whether or not I wanted to make this and then the 7 and 6 slot shared or not, and I ended up not doing it.
Probably TGB
I think you
or
definitely
Trunks.
could swap this position with the next character, but that's up to you. I definitely think this guy has gained significant value since part 2. It is a lot easier to get value from this character because every single person is running Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, essentially at this point, right? Spoiler alert, they're going to be pretty high up on this list. However, it's not like, it's a guaranteed win because they're immune to abnormal conditions. So you can't just, let me just feint the Buu Duo. But locking in is very strong. I actually think the health limit, the healing limit ability this guy has gained significant value because the healing limit versus the Buu Duo is honestly outside of the lock-in in certain situations.
The thing is, if you don't healing limit while locking in, it means nothing, right? Because you have to get both for it to be like as effective. Because he's not wrong. It's just that you probably won't get a lock-in with healing limit. You just get you'll get the fucking, you'll get the feint, you'll get the fucking damage stacking, whatever. But you won't get both together. So it's like that, yes, valuable, but like, is it if you can't control it? Again, this is the whole fucking issue with this unit. He's just a gimmick machine at the end of the day.
It's probably the best of the 4 mechanics you could land with this guy. It is pretty important because if you limit the healing on the Buu Duo, you could very easily snipe them out the next time they get caught. So that is a very important ability. And then also you're seeing a lot more Brolys than you did in part 2 just because Future Gohan and Trunks aren't as prevalent anymore. So that healing limit is also very strong versus Broly. I think the healing limit ability is actually a lot stronger now than it was before. The one reason why I think I have this guy probably lower than some people would have on their list is because this guy is very subpar defensively. And I've experienced that both on...
He's also very RNG reliant because, again, if you get these circumstantial things against these circumstantial situations, then he's effective. everything being circumstantial is not consistency. The main thing that you look in every single tier list ever that you always see when you see the top 1 Buu Duo here, top 3 UGB somewhere, is consistency factor. And it's like, consistently, will he always limit? Will he always faint? Will he always lock? No. It can, it will. Sometimes one match he'll look like he's top 3. One match he'll look like he's bottom 10. I can't give this guy any more stock than this, and I feel like if people do, it's just kind of your own one experience of like, wow, I got my anomalies of I got every single glaze setting every single time I ever needed it, and like that's why he's top tier. Well, how's that consistent? Maybe to you, but not a generalized consistency factor. That's just like Buu Duo Spirit Bomb, consistent. Stardust Fall, consistent. Broly stopping combos, consistent. Broly tanking, consistent. Consistency. This guy, I feel like this is grace to get this guy here, and nowhere above makes any sense to me.
On the receiving end,
even
while
with
using
the
this
defenses,
guy and also fighting against him, he takes a lot of damage. Don't forget, the Buu Duo do go type neutral when they have 2 or less cards in their hand and they use a card, and this guy can get smacked in like 2 or 3 cards. By
I don't disagree
side.
with this placement, so I'm actually just gonna move on into, because this is a very long segment here. Oh wow, I was right, TGB. Let's move on to number 6 though, because I do agree with this placement. It's just I do feel like if you try to glaze this guy higher, it's
number 6 is going to be transforming yellow Goku.
I'm pretty sure I put this placement same thing. TGB still very effective. Obviously, he's gonna diminish over time. That's just what happens when you're unique equip and or just the unit in general. New unit release, unique equip, plat equip, blah 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 blah. Zenkai, you diminish over time, and he's diminishing much slower than Red Broly because they did drop a week from one another within the unique equips, but. He's a 180 story from shit to pretty good to amazing, actually. It's a pretty good now within all his situations and circumstances. So not much to even say about this. Again, I just skip forward on this because obviously I don't disagree with this. I'd have this guy damn near the same, if not, 1 or 2 up and down.
Pretty much an all-around character. I just really can't find a ton of faults in what he's doing, but at this point we do have, I think, a decent amount of other characters that are just kind of eclipsing his value right now, but overall, still a very solid run in yellow Goku Black. Let's move on. Number 5 is going to be old.
How long is this segment? Oh, wait. Wait. Okay. I didn't see who that was. Okay, let me... I definitely disagree with this. I think this guy's a drop combo merchant. If you just know that he does that, then you just pop, tapping. I'm tapping. Then you're just... His whole plan is just ruin and ashes. I wish he saw the glaze he's getting now that he did when he was actually getting his equipment and he was on A-tier boost, but I guess back then he didn't matter, even though there was only 1 competent red, and now that there's 2, I guess he's somehow better. I don't know. Let me hear this.
Ultra Kid Buu. I was actually thinking of putting this guy even higher up on here, maybe 1 spot higher, but I feel like 5 is pretty good for him. This guy is in the A-tier boost. I actually don't think they should have put him in the A-tier boost. I think he's too good.
Again, he was on A-tier boost when his equip first dropped, and nobody, and I mean nobody, was talking about this unit. This was months ago, by the way. Now, him getting A-tier boost, well, it's overdone. I don't get it. I was talking about him on release when he got his equipment, and he was on A-tier. Shit was frying for me. 2-shot and Rev Hans, it was great. But now it's too much. I don't know.
But yeah, this guy on Buu Saga is extremely strong. You can put him on powerful opponent. He's very good. Next to Broly.
Yeah.
This guy
has good teams.
Not only is he living the Spirit Bomb, he is like eating the Spirit Bomb. And this guy takes like maybe half of his HP from the Spirit Bomb. And then he just heals it all back.
I'm going to presume there's like a double Zenkai buff, barely ramped up Buu Duo, because I've run this guy a bit, and I wouldn't say he eats it. I think he lives it is more accurate to comparison, because I definitely think those are definitely big adjective differentials between the two. I don't think he eats it at all.
There's that. There's the AoE, the short animation AoE greens. There's the damage guard penetration stacking. There's the lock-in blues. I mean, you snipe people in the first 5 counts of the match. You could snipe Goku and Vegeta the first 5 counts of the match. This guy, he's really, really strong.
No. I'm sorry. I have a 14-star Kid Buu. You don't do that. You don't. They heal. when they get big move attacked against them multiple times, I'm pretty sure. So you're not going to kill them. Again, you're fishing. This is the whole issue with this Kid Buu. It's just very one-dimensional, where even then I could understand why people didn't glaze him, because like he has one dimension of you're always drop combo fishing. He does the green card he spawns. You need to use a green card to even get cover null. He doesn't have cover null on entry, by the way, or anywhere besides green card. And you always green card fish, drop combo, blue card, strike, whatever the fuck you do. And every single time that happens, sure, that's pressure and oppression, and like that's valuable. You could argue like top 10, fine, whatever. I wouldn't disagree with that, but that can only hold so much weight, because every single time you fight this guy, you're like, okay, he's gonna drop combo green card me, so I can just tap him out, and he can just keep that. That's it. He doesn't lock you in after that, because his gauge is gone as you tapped him out. He wastes his heal because you're tapping him out anyways, probably feel anyways because he's getting the combo on you first. I just feel like he's too one-dimensional to be anywhere near this. Like TGB, by 50 million leagues, has more dimensions to this unit, and it's not even close.
The one area that I would say this guy is definitely lacking in compared to something like the yellow Goku Black plus blue Rosé build is on specifically the Buu Saga team. If you're running like the Supreme Kai version, or even I don't think this character is even worth really mentioning, but the Zenkai, Hercule, and Buu, they're not bad, but they're not. I just think the Supreme Kai version of Buu Saga is better. You even could run just like a Saiyan package on that team.
Who
you
the
could
fuck
do,
is running
Legend
Buu Saga
Super
with this
Video,
unit?
Duo plus Kid Buu leader slot potentially.
Or generally.
But yeah, that
that's like a
Hercule
day
and Buu
2 team
setup
this season.
Also, you don't have as much subcap manipulation as you would want. That's why Supreme Kai is so strong with that equip. That last slot on his equip, the ability to give the full team subcap reduction is very, very powerful. But outside of Supreme Kai's help, like unless you're switched in already to the Buu Duo and Supreme Kai's on your team, like this guy is not really able to swap back in time to eat like a rush or an ultimate or something if you need him to. Okay. So the sub count reduction on
I feel like this is all like a nothing
on this
factor,
guy is a bit of an issue. That's
part.
not something that like the Goku Blacks have. But I put this guy higher than Yellow Goku Black just because I think his numbers are just pretty overtuned. To me, this guy feels almost like what Yellow Goku Black felt like in part 1.
Yeah, but Yellow Goku Black has a reusable disruption. Just click your fucking blue card, which you literally spawn every single entry once you have gauge filled. He has cancel buffs within everything for your entire team that works for you. And I mean, I feel like that's enough to even justify, I guess. Even if the guy has higher numerics, sure, but he's much more dimensional. Like there's 2-3 dimensions to the guy. This guy, again, you're just a one-dimension monster. Well, again, he's not a bad unit, Kid Buu. Not going to downplay him. It's just, it's not hard to understand how to fight this unit and make him kind of a lesser factor than, let's say, TGB, since TGB is ranked lower than this unit.
Where it just feels like he tanks everything too well and he does too much damage. And he's got an AoE green.
He does burst well.
So and also don't forget the fact, and this is something we'll talk about later with a different character as well, but one of the very, very powerful things about this character, and this is another factor of why I put him higher than Yellow Goku Black, is this guy for the first 60 counts of the match is immune to attribute downgrades. And attribute downgrades are kind of meta right now with how Goku and Vegeta work with the attribute downgrade stacking debuffs. It's kind of like how it was with the Sword of Hope Trunks and Yellow Bardock meta prior to the anniversary, where only characters who have...
Could give that stock up, sure. I don't think it's as impactful as maybe it's being mentioned, because a lot of games still go past that 60, and this guy is definitely not going to guarantee everything goes, within your earlier settings, guaranteed to be positive for you. You could still get fucked up within that 60, then everything just goes negative for you, then boom, the 60 elapses, then boom, what the fuck's this abnormally conditioned immunity do? I guess it helps, but again, it just doesn't justify this for me.
Ways of either cleansing attribute downgrades or just being immune straight up to attribute downgrades are going to be able to effectively combo. And that is exactly what this guy does. Granted, it is only for the first 60 counts of the match, but that is enough to kind of get steamrolling with this guy, like get the ball rolling, get snowballing with this guy. You do a few cards, you stack up damage guard penetration, drop combo AoE green, lock it.
There it is. Everyone knows you're going to drop combo AoE green with this unit. So you just always stand there just ready to tap him out. and that's it. And then your entire plan with Kid Buu is just done. Then you're swapping out because you don't have your locket anymore. That's like, what the fuck do I do? Then Kid Buu has to wait hella time to get his gauge back, and then boom, then you can do it again. And it's like rinse and repeat, but like every single time it's predictable. But it's like that simplicity is too obvious. It's too simplistic. I feel like there's units that are super simple and very easy to use, but this guy's super simple and very easy to read. He wants to drop combo green you every single time he does anything, and then it's like, well, if someone understands that 1-to-1 math, it's like he goes from number 5 to honorable mention. I feel like there's nothing to him really. Again, I like his numbers, I like his damage. I've used them, whatever. But still, you got to understand the simplicity is there to where he doesn't really justify himself a lot of the times, because if someone does understand that, or if you're fighting one, you understand that, you just won't see Kid Buu do much. And as well as commonality factor people like to mention, you were not fighting this unit that often. So within both of those, I feel like there's just no merit to this at all.
In blue and like someone's dead.
And again, this is the one that's run him
very
and
strong
glazed
character.
him initially on A
Yeah,
tier. I knew how good he was. People didn't.
It's definitely going to be a
now
different
he's
story when this
overglazed.
guy's off the A tier boost, because it's 60% extra damage and 50% damage guard. But at least right now on the A tier boost, this guy is actually a demon. So.
But it wasn't
make
demon
sure
when he
you
had it with
Buhan.
Buhan.
To this guy with
I guess.
his platinum
I don't know,
equipment,
bro. I don't know.
highly recommend you try him out, because he's pretty crazy. All right, let's go on to number 4. Okay, so number 4 is going to be...
Huh? So what? UGB Broly Buu Duo? This is where I had like Legend Rosé. I mean, where was this unit for me? 6, 5? Let me just hear him out. Honestly,
the
just
Legend
curious.
Future Gohan and Trunks. This is a pretty big jump from the last list, and you would look at the last time I made a list, they're number 1 and now they're number 4. It doesn't really seem like a pretty big jump. I thought this character was significantly higher than every other unit in the game. I thought they were in almost a tier of their own, and I still think that's the case. That was the case last season.
They weren't.
It does feel like we are in an era of this game where we are seeing pretty monumental meta shifts almost every major release. Almost every character that comes out is pretty heavily influencing how the meta is. And I think that's what they wanted with the way that legend characters work, with the superior elements. They're trying to make the elements more of a factor in matches, in how the meta is structured. So I would expect to continue seeing this further down the line as well, where maybe in one list a character is like undisputed number 1, and then maybe the next list they're number 4, like how this character is, or maybe they're number 7, or maybe a character is not even on the list, and then we get another release that is crazy powerful, and all of a sudden this other character that wasn't even on the list last time is now at number 5. Like that's complete. The very list is just because the Buu Duo have made it very tough for this character to dominate as they did before. That does not mean that you can't go in with a super mega juiced up hybrid Saiyan team and not one-shot every character, because you can still do that. It just isn't as easy to do as before. It's not. His interaction with this character, to meta, where this character, it was essentially free real estate to be able to switch into this unit. They would destroy your opponent's hand. They would inflict -2 card draw speed to the entire enemy team, and that was pretty much the end of the combo. Your opponent literally couldn't do anything because the rush was also sealed.
All right, so it's going to be what I expected it to be, just the same points as it was. They were, but now they aren't. And now Buu Duo, what happens? They can just tag switch, and then, well, they don't give a fuck about your fucking Gohan Trunks disrupt. Okay. I'll move on from that. Again, Kid Buu just throwing me off here, so we'll just move on to number 3, which I expect to be UGB, and it's UGB.
Okay, so number 3 is going to be Ultra Gogeta Blue. I think this guy is actually still very effective, even though we have a super powerful blue character running around.
Because stars fall.
One of the things this character is able to do very well is his ability to have attribute downgrade nullification when his full gauge is up, so you can get past the Buu Duo's constant card cost increase debuffs. He's a character that is able to get through a lot of these characters that you see running around. He does a lot of damage versus Legend Broly, does a lot of damage versus Kid Buu, does a lot of damage versus Shallot, the Goku Blacks, even Blue Goku Black. Stardust Fall is still extremely powerful. He's got the guard action that you can kind of use to stall if you need to. This guy's own disrupt is very strong. So just overall very solid. I'm not going to go through every single scenario where this guy is good, but because we know at this point what this guy does. I mean, this guy's been in the game now for almost 2 months. So Very powerful unit. Even though he's a part 1 character, I still think, and he's red, I think this guy definitely deserves to be somewhere in this range, 3, 4, 5, somewhere. So I do think he's very strong.
Ain't no
Ultra
way.
Gogeta Blue.
Someone has that guy.
The only thing I guess we could say is
I feel like I've seen that.
The Stardust Fall is not a guaranteed one-shot against the Buu Duo if they are pretty close to full health. You have to have a lot of build-up on them.
Doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, I get it. But, like, doesn't matter about individuality in this game because you just run them with the Buu Duo, then you do Stardust Fall into Spirit Bomb, or you do Spirit Bomb into Stardust Fall. Do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, it's the Dokkan team. Just auto animations, then you move on from there because you got all your animations off, so you won, and ha ha ha, Dokkan team. It's so unique and quirky.
Like, yeah, if you have a yellow,
it's like, guess what? Number 2 is Broly, and guess what? Number 1 is the Buu Duo. Because again, animation team. You guarantee animation, you guarantee win. Hey, look, you stop combo with guarantee animations, you guarantee get your combo probably happening next because you stopped their own combo, and now it's your turn to 50-50 it. And then this team. You lose, and then you get animations to win because you were losing. And then you got your Dokkan animation, and then you started winning. The triple autopilot team, it definitely is the top 3 in the game.
A lot of people would probably say Shallot is the best anti-Goku and Vegeta character in the game. I would disagree. I think this guy is better.
Obviously,
remember,
yes.
if
someone has the other take,
the
they're
Goku
insane.
and Vegeta character were not immune to abnormal conditions, then yes, I think Shallot would be probably slightly better than Broly, but Broly is better not just because he's green, not just because he's got the bulk, but because he is one of the few characters that actually can stop the Buu Duo from steamrolling with their gauge. There are very few units in the game.
It's almost like auto counter units are good. Yeah. Even depending how the meta is good or bad against them, they always show why they're good and better aging than most units.
Besides another character,
you would think people learned that from UMV and types.
That can stop the Buu Duo from comboing, and Broly is one of them. With
people
the auto
love
counter,
to downplay this Broly.
The switch. The guard action is pretty effective.
By the way, my top 3 is the same exact top 3 as his. I don't know if Gohan Trunks was where they were. I forget, but top 3. If your top 3 is not the same thing as these top 3 in this order, you're not playing the game, or you just trying to be quirky like that. That's what that is there. Everything else, really don't give a rat's ass about. But again, just seeing the other stuff, and it's like super glaze on this, that, and the other, just doesn't really add up. Still doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's just this is what matters. Top 3.
I think the damage and the defense are both really strong. This character just has the complete package almost. Again, it's like Ultra Gohan, but he has a second life, and he's got
better utilities.
The UI Goku gauge when he's fully built up, and he's got bulk. Like, it's crazy. It's actually kind of crazy how strong this guy is.
On 2.0.
He's a very effective character to use with the Buu Duo as well. It's not like, oh, it's this guy versus the Buu Duo. No, he can complement them pretty well because you just run them next to Pan. That's the team that I've been using recently. You can make a good movies core.
I don't advise that team at all.
You can do just a Saiyan core with Pan the leader slot. This guy plus the Buu Duo together. Very easy to get Zenkai benches for both these guys. So overall, Broly, I mean, he's just been an effective character the entire anniversary. Definitely was a little bit scary using this guy in part 2, just because you see a lot of we did see.
Wasn't that scary because you had both Goku Blacks with them. In my opinion, I was running it.
We saw
didn't seem that bad. I thought
that
was the best team in the game.
PO. Saiyans, you got like double or even just triple purple setups.
Yeah, no, I got this guy Saiyan spot again. Obviously, Buu Duo is gonna be number 1 because they have their auto attack, which you don't play the game and you get faster.
You can tell
losing, you get it faster.
Everybody is running either 1 or 2 greens on their team because of this character.
You should only see 1 green.
Now, this character does have some aspects of their design that I really don't like. I'm not gonna get.
They should age bad. Most tag units do. Just to give you a synopsis of that, but well, they're new, so they can't age bad. They just dropped them.
Go into detail about that in this video, but one thing that I can say that I kind of don't like is this character has the strongest anti-Goku and Vegeta ability besides Broly's auto counters, and it's their half HP disrupt. If you are a Goku and Vegeta and you are comboing an opponent's Goku and Vegeta, you almost don't want to get them to half HP. Number 1, because it is going to forcefully end your combo, and it is going to allow the opponent Goku and Vegeta to get their Spirit Bomb up before yours. In a mirror match, whichever Goku and Vegeta gets their Spirit Bomb up first is basically in a immense lead. It is essentially a race to the Spirit Bomb.
And that's exactly why they're the best. You don't even have to win with them for them to be the best. You can lose and still have the best unit in the game. Matter of fact, when you are losing, you probably have the better unit because you have your Spirit Bomb faster. And that's where I can wrap this. Overall list, again, that's a super Kid Buu glaze for such a one-dimensional unit. Why didn't he get this glaze when he was getting A tier boosted back then within Gohan release when he first got his equipment? I don't fucking know. Apparently he wasn't as good then as he is now, but now he's numerically worse because he had the same A tier boost then as he does now. I don't fucking get it. Everything else is whatever. I think Rev Han's arguable within, the movies team. Goku Bardock, sure. SV, sure. I feel like Legend Piccolo could have been talked about here, and maybe some others. Zaha, whatever he's mentioned. Shin, I definitely think should be top 10 over like Rev Han, for example, because God Key with red green, both Goku Blacks, whatever could be a team. I think those are definitely better than let's say Rev Han movies. I'd probably say both Goku Blacks, which Shin's probably better, or something like that. Like Shallot, UGB, Shin, probably better than fucking, I guess it's double red, but still probably better than fucking Majin Buu Saga without even a green unit, right? I feel like there's something there. But still, overall, besides the Kid Buu anomaly, I feel like that's just a sneak in for fun. I definitely think the top 3 is all that matters, and well, at the end of the day, that's all you're fighting against anyways that is strong, and that's probably all you're running, because why would you want to work for your wins when you can autopilot them? That wouldn't make any sense. It is a mobile game after all. It's very easy to win, especially if you have the newest of the new, which 8th Annie units are ruining or running the game right now. Let me know what you think of my reaction to Gresh's top 10 list to end 8th Annie. I'll see you guys in the next one.